Howdy there, folks. How are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to our Tekkit 2 Let's Play adventure, where today, I gotta be honest with you, every time I finish recording these, I feel, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm not gonna work on that. I'm not gonna work on that. We're gonna move forward and build other, more different things and just carry on the Let's Play. And then, gosh darn it, I have ideas. Awful ideas. At one point, I had the idea of just saying to heck with it and taking all of this apart and just doing it like this. This system, just to heck with the pipes entirely. We could just have everything be routed around inside of ender chests. I thought, yeah, you know what? That would actually work, and it would be fine. And who knows? We might do that moving forward. I'm not going to go back and change any of this, though. Not right now, at least. We're going to carry on, and we're going to start actually progressing and building new things that we need. And if we have a look at the list of new things that we need, we're not that far away. Some of this is a little complex, but some of this is pretty straightforward, right? Like reinforced stone, we're already building advanced alloy. All we need to add to that is regular old stone. Now, we're not currently generating stone, like up there, which is kind of where we've been generating things, but I mean, it's stone. Do we really need to have something massive generating stone? Could we not simply have a little machine, like a tiny little machine? Maybe even like right next to this, because remember, when we started this redesign weeks ago at this point, I said, hey, we're going to leave all this extra room open in case we need to expand in the future. But kind of seeing how fast some of this can be, like the Lapatron crystals isn't really fair, but I mean, we have room. We have room, and if we need to scale these up, we can stack. We can go up vertically, right? So we can just have this exact same layout on top of this one, on top of that one, on top of that one. And we can stack it up pretty high if we need to scale up in that manner. And I think, the thing is, we do have, like, a lot of space moving in this direction, and will we ever fill up this entire factory with things? Not at this rate, not if I keep cramming it in more tightly. But also, I think I've just talked myself out of this. Maybe we will leave those there. Yeah, we'll do it right here. This is where we'll do it. But here's the question. Do we actually... I mean, look, here. If we need to have stone, okay, watch. We can get ourselves one of these, and we can get ourselves one of these, and then we can get ourselves... Hey, you know what? We'll go ahead and check just to verify. It says all kinds of different chiseled stone. But does it really need to be a chiseled stone, or could it not just be regular stone? That's what I thought. Okay. In that case, we just get a regular, bog-standard, vanilla Minecraft stone, and then we don't have to build the whole flower up there. If all we need is it, like, right down here, look, we can just do this, and we're done. There you go. The more stone than we could possibly ever use. Now, I'm going to go ahead and break that, and that's still going to be going because of the amount of stored EMC inside of here. So I'm just going to go ahead and also break this, and we'll just go ahead and dispose of that because I don't actually know where we need to set that. But for now, we will go ahead and have it ready to go. And this might be one where we do multiple things here, because I think if we were to set that up right here, and you know, we'll leave these here for now because we might still use those, but kind of what I had in mind instead was, for certain things, would it just be easier to use the ender chest? Wouldn't that just be simpler to get things moved around? Maybe. Maybe it would be. We'll see. But, you know what? Before we get started on that, there was one other thing I did want to test, you know? And that was this thing here. You know, we know how many of these Lapatron crystals we can fit inside of here, but how many can we fit inside of a barrel? And my thinking on this is that even though they don't stack inside of here, would they potentially stack in a barrel? If not, then there will be 64 of them inside of this cherry wood barrel, and that'll be the answer to that question. I just like to, you know, sometimes I have these ideas and I want to test them on screen, so, you know, in case you folks at home had a similar idea or just were curious to find out, well, we're going to know. We're going to know real quick, because it's going to hit 64, or, well, it's going to hit, I mean, it's pausing, but I'm imagining that's because it's waiting on these to come in. So here's the moment of truth. And it looks like it only goes up to 64. Now we know. Now I've got to deal with all these Lapatron crystals. Alright, so I started kind of playing around with this idea that I had to completely eliminate pipes, at least from what it can be eliminated from, right? So for something like this, where we're just combining together two ingredients, we don't need pipes for that. We can get away from those. So what I did was I added an ender chest, and remember, we can make over 4,000 combinations of ender chests, so I said, you know what? Yeah, I've decided that white, gray, gray is what the advanced alloys are going to be. Okay, so we can bring that over to... Are you out of advanced alloy? That might explain why it stopped running. I think that's this right here. And trust me, I'm going somewhere with this. I've got something interesting to share with you. There we go. So that appears to be working fine. But one thing I did notice was that we're getting some odd behavior coming out of here. And you'll notice it's not keeping this stocked, and I'm not sure why. I tried removing the glowstone to see if maybe it had something to do with moving a whole stack at a time, but as you can see, that has nothing to do with it. And I don't really know exactly what's wrong. If we come up here, you might remember that this works fine. You know, this is how we have these set up. You have these, and they're emptying into these, and if we take this out, you see that it stocks it right back up immediately. So it works fine up here, coming out of the bottom of these, and I don't know why that works okay. I don't think it has anything to do with this being full. I don't think. But what I do know is I have gotten a comment previously about how we might need to look into getting the energy condenser MK2s, because those are known to be work better with different types of item translocation devices. And I don't just mean the translocators, but pipes and things of that nature. They tend to work better with those because they actually have a dedicated output. So the MK2, I'm surprised we've not built it till now. It's also quite a bit faster. I noticed it doesn't say that on here, but it's also a lot more expensive. You're going from 42,000 EMC to 9.7 million EMC. But it's absolutely something we can build. We're not hurting for EMC. We have plenty, and I'd be interested in at least experimenting with it. And like I said, it is faster. That doesn't really help us for like most of the ways that we use them, like right now. The speed at which items are coming in here are what's dictating how long this takes. But if you were to suddenly fill this thing up, it would take a while for it to condense all those items, you know? Like, it takes a while to go through that stone. If you had an MK2, it would take less time. They are blazingly fast. So to build one of those, we're going to need a regular energy condenser for red matter and for dark matter. So, again, pretty expensive, but not really going to hurt us any. And then we just actually have to find an energy condenser. There we go. And because it is from this mod, it will have an EMC value. Although I say that, not everything from this mod does have a value. I don't know if that's normal or if that's been configured specifically for the mod pack. But if you have a look inside of here, this is your condensing side and this is your output side. So I'd be curious to see if that has any sort of effect. And I thought I would cut away from what I was working on so that we could do a little experiment and find out together. And if you're thinking, geez, Reese, you sound a little bit congested. I am. Always. Not always, but recently. I think it has to do with the cold weather. I think I've talked about this, but every time the weather changes, I have some kind of condition. You know, either I get sick or I get severe allergies, but it's only during the transitional period between hot and cold. It's been cooling off, so that's nice. So, that's on now, but it's not doing anything, so we need to tell it to make stone. And the output side is filling up rapidly, and it is not outputting to here, which is a little bit odd. We could go ahead and upgrade it. Oh, that looked like something happened. Yeah, it did, but it didn't fill it up for some reason, and I don't know why. How very strange. Do you think maybe there's something wrong with this thing? Like, do I need to break that and then sort of reconfigure it? Reconfigure it even? Let's see if that works. So we do have a full stack of these here that we're working with. Now, I tried previously to import this recipe, but the issue is because it has so many different variations of stone, it almost always pulls in the wrong stone. So just using regular old vanilla stone here, we're going to set the recipe. There it is. It knows what it wants. This is regular old vanilla stone. So let's plop this. Oh, I already got it right there. And we will give it a little dimple. And I mean, it's specifically put in one stack, which is not normal behavior. That's not how those work up there, so why is that how it's working down here? We even went through the effort of making an MK2 for no reason. I mean, it's obviously not benefiting us any. I'm curious to see what happens when it gets all the way down, though. Like, when it's empty, will it send another batch? This is very much unlike this. This is not the type of experience we've had with these so far. These generally work pretty well. right? Oh, okay, you know what? No, never mind. I take it back. That is kind of how this one is stocked up as well. And I'm assuming that when it goes empty, it'll send another stack. I'm assuming. I don't know. Also, we should probably get it on the export again. There we go. And there's no reason to add a stack upgrade, but it does make things a little bit faster. And if that can help reduce latency in the long run by... Oh, you know what I just noticed is that it does keep these stocked, though. Interesting. As soon as this goes away, those fly in. Well, let's see what happens. Okay. It restores it almost immediately, and again, there is no effect if you take off the glowstone. It appears to work in exactly the same manner. I guess I won't worry about it, and I guess what we will do is we will go ahead and just replace that with the Tier 1, because the Tier 2... You know what? We aren't hurting for EMC, but that doesn't mean we should be wasting it either, right? You know? A penny saved is a penny earned, as they do say on occasion. So, we're going to go ahead and hold on to that number 2. And, well, no we won't. We won't hold on to it. We'll go ahead and recondense it for future use. And I did pick possibly an interesting configuration down here. I realized that the way I originally had this set up was this chest was here, and then this was up here, and that put that right there. And I was like, you know what? I could make it shorter if I reconfigured it, and I did. Also, we could put this like up top, or behind it, or in front of it, or in any number of other configurations. Well, no, not any number of other configurations. A limited number of other configurations. So that's a bit slower, but I mean, what does that matter, really? It's so fast. And then that goes all the way down here, where we're going to configure this to hold on to 63 of them. Because no matter what we do, it's always a little bit bugged. And, oh, hello, I actually wanted you to... Will you not? Hello? I'm trying left and right click. Wait a minute. There we go. We need a diamond nugget. And now we can configure it to hold 63 of those. And we should probably configure that to export. And again, if it saves us a little bit of computational energy in the future to have glowstone on there and have it send out big batches instead of sending them out one at a time, it's worth it. And here, have some extra. No, don't. Actually, I just realized what I did. Wrong chest to do that in. There we are. All right. And just like that, we can go ahead and take reinforced stone off the list. Now, that's one of the more simple items. Next up, we are going to need 5/4 HV cable, which means we're going to actually need to use the pipes because we got to route rubber over here. Or I could just stick another one of these on top of here. And we can hop out of them, I think is the... Not hop out, but we can use the translocators. Yeah, I'm literally doing it right here. You just do the same thing over there. Alright, well, I'm profoundly confused, because this is working fine. And it's still working, and it's working flawlessly, and it's filling this thing up. This, on the other hand, is not working at all. And it's set up exactly the same, so I don't know why. But here's what we've got. We've got the refined iron ingots going into here to make HV cables. That is combining with rubber to make the 4 times insulated cable, and I cannot understand why it's not working. It kind of worked. It made 21 of them, and then it just stopped, and I don't know... Why? Wait, what happened? Why did it start working? All I did was take out some of the rubber. Oh, whatever. It's working, I guess. I think I figured out what the problem was, and surprisingly, I think it was a power limitation, or something to do with the speed at which it was moving. I don't know. All I know is that I cranked up the power, and now it's working consistently. This is just full, and we're not having any issues with it, but this is also running, and it's going to keep running until this is filled with about 6,000 items, somewhere over that. I think it's like 6,100 some odd that the obsidian chests can hold. But, you have a look here, I did max this things out, and the issue is, these are the big electric flux generators. I think each of these is capable of putting out enough power to saturate one of these, which means having 3 of them is kind of useless. What we should do is make a bigger battery so that we can have 3 separate cables going to 3 separate taps. And you might say, Rees, that makes no sense. You can crank this tap up so much. Yes, but like I said, we're limited on how much the HV flux cable can carry. In fact, if we look up the HV flux cable, it'll tell you that it can only transfer 4,096 RF per tick, which obviously we've got this cranked up past that, but it's not enough still. So, I mean, what do you do beyond the flux cables? How else do you move flux to a higher degree than that? Look, the gold one's even less than that. So how are you supposed to move obscene amounts of flux around? I don't know. What I reckon we would do is we would come down here, and on each row, we would just have a big flux generator and a line. So each one of these has its own dedicated 4,096 RF per tick line, at least where it's needed. That's an option. That's probably a better option. I like having the big battery, though. But really, that's not necessary. It was cool to build, and look, it's getting the job done. Once this is done, it's not going to be consuming any power, right? So, but, you know, we do have, if we're using big electric flux generators, then that means we're using EU. And if we're using EU, we already have a big battery for that, a really big one, connected to a series of smaller transformers. Remember, we could technically get more power out of this if we broke this out into 4 of these, into 16 of these, into whatever that would come out to of these. We are actually limiting ourselves with the way that we have this configured, but that's not relevant right now. What is relevant is that, my gosh, does it take a long time to get these things set up when I'm doing trial and error. You might have noticed I did put little signs on them so you can see what's inside of what, you know. So this is that, and this is making that, and the 2 of these go into here to make that, and then that gets stored in here, and then that goes into here. And ultimately, this is going to be filled up with everything we need to create a high voltage solar panel. That's the goal. So we're just going to have this one chest at the start of that lineup, and it's going to have everything we need, but we'll get to that. All right, and now we have the next step. I didn't realize how invested I would have to be for this one, and I haven't actually put... I just realized I forgot to fill these in, and I haven't even bothered to put them on over here yet, but I'll walk you through what's going on here. This is where we're going to be generating our magnets, which is going to take a long time, but fortunately, while I work on the rest of the assembly line, it'll be happening in the background, and there's room to double it. I sectioned it off so I could specifically build a second one, because I think I'm probably going to need to build a second one. I'm not doing it right now. I want to get done with the rest of the assembly line, because it's going to require that I build another singularity compressor, charged electrolyzer, and rare earth extractor, and I'd rather just get it. I want to get the assembly line in a position where we can build a high voltage solar panel. Then I'll go back and do other stuff. Like, I was realizing here, well, that could be up here, and that would make that smaller. And then I can move that up here and bring that in, and we could make this much smaller. We could probably have the size of that if we wanted to, if we just sort of embrace vertical height, which is what I've done here. So we start off, I might change this later. I might actually build a proper thing up top to make obsidian for us, as well as stone, wherever that's being made, and then just replace this setup here with an ender chest. We might end up doing that, because I like the idea of everything with EMC, having a thing generating it all the way up through the entire tower. I think that would be cool and fun, and I think we're probably going to end up doing it. But for right now, okay, what you need to know is that this is generating obsidian, courtesy of this energy collector, and that is being dropped into this rare earth extractor, which is generating rare earth dust. Now, you'll notice there's rare earth dust in there, and it's just not going into here. Now, I couldn't tell you why. I have no clue whatsoever. If we have a look inside of here, there's nothing happening, and I don't know why. Other than, nope, that is powered, it's plugged in, it's getting juice. It's just not moving out of here for some reason. And this happens from time to time. It just stops working, and I don't know why. The same thing was happening over here previously. This is filling up, so I guess it is still kind of happening, but also no, this one's running. I don't really know what I did to make that work other than I just pumped more electricity into it. So I don't know. I don't know. It's so frustrating because it makes me feel like, oh, well, maybe these are no better. Maybe these are no better and I should just go back to using the gosh darn crafting logistics pipes. What am I even doing? Look at the insanity that I have here. Why am I doing this? I don't have to do this. I could just use the crafting pipes. It worked. Why am I like this? I don't know. I don't know. It's so bizarre. And watch this. If I just take these out, boom, it's filled up. It filled up immediately. It sucked them all out for some reason. And then they moved through the singularity compressor and now they're down here. I don't know why. If you do, let me know. Because it kind of makes me feel like, well, maybe I should just go back to that. Because even though this is sometimes slow, you know what else it is? It works. It works consistently. If I come down here and I take this out, you know what? Whatever else it might be, you call it hectic, call it crazy. You know what happens at the end? There's another one. It's ready to go. It does actually work. But then, you know, after doing this and seeing how effective this was, I mean, look at this. It's immediately restocked, and all of this is restocked, and that's restocked, and that's restocked, and it's beautiful. And I liked that, and I thought, well, maybe I can do that over here. And sometimes, yes, but sometimes you end up with 2 rare earth dusts. And I don't know, maybe... I see, if you take one out, suddenly, it imports the others. But why is it making one? It has 4... Oh, I guess it needs 5 of these. Oh. Well... No, I thought maybe I was onto something there, but then I realized that no, it had plenty over here it could have imported. It just doesn't sometimes. There's no conceivable reason as to why, you know, I'm not worried about the iron, it'll hop in iron when it needs it, but it just doesn't do would it do it once this hits a stack? Is it because I have a stack upgrade? That's not how the stack upgrade has worked historically. I don't know. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And it's very upsetting. But I'm not going to change it now. I'm going to carry on. If any of you folks out there have any experience diagnosing mental curiosities, we'll call them, please comment down below and let me know. What is it that might drive a person to obsessively... I couldn't leave it alone! It was driving me crazy. I was trying to plot out the next part of this, and I realized, like, no, I've got to get this... I've got to do better. I've got to figure out something better before I move on, because it's going to bother me knowing that this isn't right. So whatever that is, diagnose me down below, please. I'll trust you. I don't need to go to an actual professional or anything. The YouTube comments section's excellent at diagnosing and giving prognoses. So, prognoses? Like, here's what we've done. I have a theory that the issue that we're having with the items translocators is specifically to do with the auto workbench and the way that it reserves spots down here. We're not having as much trouble when we use them with the pipes, which we're not doing right now anyway, but look, these work. I'm not opposed to using them. They're great, but I kind of like over here where we have this sort of perfect marriage of the item translocators and the logistics pipes. I like that. I want to use that. I don't want to use the pipes to go from one machine to another. That feels wasteful when we could just hop one directly into the other, but we have to go through a crafting process first. Now, I could throw down a crafting pipe. I even went and got some, and they're in my inventory, except they're not, because I might have put them back, because I decided to test this first real quick. I even started to wire it up in such a way that we could theoretically do that, as you can see here. This was going to be a storage container. There was going to be a crafting pipe on top of it. No, there wasn't. This was going to be on top of it, and then this was going to get moved. What I've decided to do was test what happens, right? This is configured with 63 of these. This is configured with 63 of these. This is still going. What about a hopper? Hopper is a much simpler device, right? As opposed to this. This is a little bit on the complex side. You know, you've got all these slots, but they're reserved, and then how does that really work? And maybe these aren't really designed to work with these, and it gets confused sometimes. So what I've done is I figured, you know what, a hopper is basic. It just hops things in. It's the most simple Minecraft item mover. My mustache is getting in my face. Listen, if this doesn't work, I don't know what to do. But my theory is we turn that on, and this will go to 63, but it won't, because it'll hop them into here. And then once both of these are full, Theoretically, that'll stay at 63. We'll have to wait and see. But the real curiosity is going to be whether or not turning this on actually hops these out of here, because that's where we've been having issues, is it won't hop out of here. And I've been thinking, is it the translocator's fault? Is it the machine's fault? It might be the workbench's fault. Let's find out. We're going to turn it on. And just like that, immediately, that's at 59. Oh, shoot. You know what I just realized? Is that that's not going to work. Because of the way hoppers work. They start here and then work their way down. What we can confirm is that it did immediately hop into here, though. So no hesitation as opposed to trying to get them into here. That was a dumb idea. I don't know why I thought that would work. What we could do... Which, I mean, this is just nuts. The problem with... First off, where did that go? Did I pick that up or did it actually zoom? It looked like it went flying. Wait, did that just tick up? No, that's ticking down now. Wait a minute. Hold on. Go back. Oh, interesting. Once the iron was full, it started accepting them from the where. Okay. All right. No, you have one in there? Okay, then here's the test. Here's the actual test. If I put that back on there, gosh darn it, I don't have any more on me. I'm all out of translocators. And that one just looked like it flew away. Was that my imagination or did everyone else see that? It looked like... Stop it. Stop it and stay out of the way, you. It looked like it popped off and flew. Am I going crazy? Could I be going crazy? Maybe I was always crazy. That is a possibility. We've got 8 of them left. We've got 15 total, because there was some in my inventory, including probably the one that flew off, and I don't know why I imagined it flew. There's 4 of them in there. If we turn it on, they immediately go in there. They immediately hop into there. We might be cooking with a little bit of gasoline here. We might be onto something with this. I'd already prepared like a whole second slot over here. I was trying to figure something out. But this could be something, or and hear me out on this, because this is a lot simpler and a lot more straightforward. We could just have these get stored inside of here. And then we just have, like, back here, you see this? And then it just goes to a crafting. Well, I mean, what if we just did that? You know? I mean, at that point, the issue is that... What is the issue? There isn't an issue. Let's just do that. This is working! And it's working really well. I'm really pleased with it. So this does not export until it gets up to 4. That's perfectly fine, because it can't do anything in here until it gets up to 4. Now, that is done using pipes, as one would expect. We do have obsidian up here, and that's being dropped in. You just saw it happen right there. It's a beautiful thing. And oh my gosh, you saw it all happen. You saw it all happen, and it's already over here. This charged electrolyzer is about to be full, and the only way to speed it up is to provide it with more power. It's a medium voltage machine, and it accepts no upgrades. And from what I was reading on the wiki... For what I was reading on the wiki, the only way to make it go faster is to add more power storage, so I added a second MFE, and I made sure it was plugged in, but I don't think it's made any difference at all whatsoever. We can see once this is done, apparently what it does is it takes a big charge out of the machine, and it doesn't actually look like it's had any impact on that MFE or that. This doesn't appear to have made a difference. Maybe I got it hooked in wrong. Am I supposed to run them one into the other? Like one MFE into another MFE? I assumed they all needed to be touching different sides. Like, all the sides have these double green dots, and I was like, okay, yeah, we probably just plug the power into those. But adding a second MFE, maybe this is faster. It certainly doesn't appear to be. I almost feel like maybe we should add a second MFE. Just slap it down on top of this one. We could do that. Or slap it down right here and route the cabling around that way. And then you could have the exact same item translocator. But, I mean, saying that, we're not really making... Well, no, we have increased the dead magnet. Yeah, well, I'm going to leave it alone for now. The machine isn't as fast as I'd like it to be, but knowing that it's working optimally is enough for me to leave it alone. The next thing I was looking at building was going to be... Oh my gosh, where'd it go? Right there, the advanced circuit. Didn't we at one point have the advanced circuit automated? I feel like we did, but I don't know how, because I'm not generating glowstone anywhere, at least not that I could tell from a quick cursory glance, I mean, this is all ores. This is all things that aren't ores, but none of them are glowstone. So what I decided to do, and this just made sense to me at the time. Oh, shoot. You know what? I did forget one thing, so ignore that. That was just a thing that I was toying around with. I made a red level for nether things, and we've got glowstone set up here and going, so it's ready to go. I did forget to add red around this ring, though. I need to do that. I did run out of red lamps, though, so I'll have to go make some more. But that is an issue for later. For right now, we're going to continue our focus on automation. And I might just go ahead and use this little area here next to here, because we don't really need much to get these manufactured. We just need a crafting table. I mean, really, I guess the only question is, are we going to use these? We're going to use these. This one's working fine, interestingly enough. It's not doing anything, that's because this is full. But, you know, we have these set up, and as you can see, also full. These worked. I don't know why these weren't working over here in this setup. Just for whatever reason, items would not transfer in. I don't know why. I did a lot of experimenting. You know, we even tried with the hopper and everything, and it would just not work sometimes. I don't know. You know, this might be one of the weirder ones that we've done so far. It took 4 ender chests, and in fact, in order to make this work, I decided rather than running pipage over there, if we were only going to need it for one ingredient, I would rather just use an ender chest. So what I did was I filled this ender chest here up with the electronic circuits that we need, and then this is going to resupply itself. It's fine. It's no big deal, and that'll also keep it topped up, so it's all good to go. But the situation is, you got this one here with the glowstone, this one here with the redstone, you got this one back here with the lapis, you got this one on top here with the electronic circuits, and then, of course, this is configured. It's not hooked up to any speed upgrades yet, because I wanted to see whether or not this would even work. We could, of course, also hop things in from, the other sides of this device, but I just wanted to see what would happen if we did that. And I don't know if that was things flying in there, if that was it just being profoundly broken. It's got a stack of everything, and it's going. So that's going to pop out, and that should go into here. That's the wrong device. That's not actually what I wanted there, and I feel like a little bit of a fool, and I can't believe you were all here for that. I'd like to apologize, first off, to anyone who I might have disappointed, for, you know, maybe you thought I knew better and wouldn't make a mistake like that. I apologize, but there we go. That should get that out. Lovely. And then this is going to be what kind of controls how many of them... You son of a gun. You're not even the right color. Well, I mean, what we've done is we've verified that it works. Now let's speed it up. I think we might still end up doing something that I had talked about earlier, which is running dedicated, big power block things, whatever they're called, to each one of these machines so that each one can get a full 4,000 RF per tick. Because now that we're running a system where things aren't being constantly manufactured at all times, which I saw your comment. The channel member Daytora Jake Yates was like, nah, do it, make everything all the time. It's going to melt my computer. Alright, I was really happy when I got a 5800X3D. I was like, this is the best chip you can get on AM4, I don't want to upgrade, have to buy DDR5, this is going to be good. You can barely do it! You know, once everything in here is moving, I mean, look at the frames, and it's not the GPU. It's not the GPU. So, we still haven't tried increasing the RAM to the pack. I will try to remember that the next time I fire up the game. Oh yeah, that's moving at ludicrous speeds. It's draining everything out of here, but then it's being resupplied, which is something that you can't take for granted, because sometimes it doesn't get resupplied for some reason. It's moving at a brisk pace. It's gonna fill this up. We're going to run out of these at some point. This is dropping all over the place. Do we no longer have a disposal over here? I need to hook up a disposal real quick. Alright, so we now have... Where are you going? What's happening? Why are you doing that? We have a disposal here, which is really easy to set up. You know, you just need to stick a item sync with the default route set. And then I also like to add a provider module so that if those items end up being needed somewhere down the line, they can be summoned. For some reason, they're just going back and forth. It looks like it's summoned an unimaginably high number of refined iron ingots for some hitherto unknown reason. Where are those even being used at? In here, it needs them. It just doesn't need to summon that many of them, and I don't know why it's doing it. You can literally see them going back and forth now. This is getting absurd. This is absolutely absurd, and it becomes more absurd the more you watch it, and that's absolutely absurd. But I guess that is staying stocked up. But at what cost? Because it's sucking them out of here at a pretty brisk pace. Oh, that's maintaining. Alright, well, I guess the system's fine then. This is only going to go until this chest is filled up. And this chest can only hold a little over 6,000 items. I think I did the math the other day. It was 6,144 or something like that. You know what it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's you take 1024 times 6, 6,144. It's computer nerd math is what it is. There you go. So this is going to run at that kind of breakneck pace until that gets filled up, and then we'll dump them into here as well, but not right now. I got to figure out what to put it on. The way I configured this one over here, the color, was I was like, okay, well, what are the primary colors when you look at this thing? Kind of like gray and red. And then white is because it's on the bottom floor. It's the white floor. So white, gray, and red. I guess I could just do the same over here. When you kind of look at these, what are their primary colors? I mean, white is determined. It's more of a dark gray, I feel like. And then kind of like a light blue, maybe, or actually probably, yeah, it's more of like a regular blue. It's more of like a regular old lapis blue. So you can just grab some lapis. And then I did say kind of a dark gray. I'm looking at the outside specifically. So boom, boom, and then I didn't realize I would actually need to get some bone meal. Because I've been using like standard chests, and you have to kind of set them. But there we go, it's not being used by anything. Go ahead and fill that up. Once that's full, this will fill up. We'll be good to go. We can go ahead and knock yet another thing off the list. We're getting there. We're burning through these. We're gonna get somewhere with all this. And if you're thinking to yourself, geez, Rees, didn't you say when you started this project that the reason you were leaving all this open space is for infinite expansion? Look at how fast this is going. Look at how fast this is going. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't need infinite expansion. It's going as fast as items can be supplied to it, and if I wanted it to go faster, I just need to supply items more quickly. So I'm not really worried about that. This over here is a slightly different story, but we are up to 40 of these now. And if I had to guess, I'd say this is probably almost full. It's getting there. We're getting there. I don't think it's benefiting it at all. What do we have left here? What do we actually have left? So I'm not worrying about the IV transformer, the HV transformer, the EV transformer. We're going through and doing raw material. Oh, we got magnets done too. We can get rid of that. Okay, so things like the plasma core, we've already got all the ingredients for except for the plasma cell, and we've already got all the ingredients for this as well. Oh, we don't have iridium plate yet, but we need the plasma core, which, you know, as previously discussed, kind of looks like plasma cells where we're going to need to go first. Now, fortunately, we do basically have that automated. We just need to bring it from the basement up into the factory floor. And after that, we also need to make plasma cables. But, okay, so all three of these things require plasma to move forward. This does not. This requires refined stone and iridium plate. Refined stone we have taken care of right here. This is the one. I finally put the stuff in the pictures, you know. Except for right here. I didn't put stuff in this picture. Oh, right! I completely forgot about this! This is the everything you need to build an HV chest. I've completely neglected to add that to all of these things. But we'll get around to it. Oh, hold on. Okay, no, that's a different type of cable. Right, this is the cable that needs the plasma. Okay, plasma's got to come first. Kind of seems like the order we need to go in now is plasma, plasma core. Oh, we could do this. This is just, yeah, okay, we got to move the UU matter machine upstairs. And the UU matter is going to have to be divided into two different things. Like, well, we'll have UU matter storage, and then we'll also have the Plasmafier. So it can just drain from the UU matter storage, and then we can have a crafting table. At that point, we might need to use pipes if we're going to have the UU matter going to all of these different places. We might want to engage in some pipage. That's where it comes in handy, and that's fine. I think for something like this, it would be silly to use pipes at this point. This system works better without them, and I think there are a lot of things like that. That's the thing. It's not about finding the one objective right way that we're going to do all of this moving forward. It's about finding kind of like what works for any given item, and just going with that. This is the first time I feel like that I'm going to walk away from this feeling like great success. You know what I mean? And I just want to throw out there that, you know what? You know what? Do we really need a chest full of these right now? What are you said? Okay, yeah. We're going to go ahead and break this. Shoot. Forgot that would happen. There we go. And then what is this? This is gray and then light blue. I think it's light gray and light blue. We're going to switch it over to that. We don't need to have an entire ender chest full of these. We might at some point. If it comes down to it, I can always add... There we go. I can always add another ender chest. Just kind of stick it up here. And we can have that sort of drain in there as well. But let's plop that on. And we'll do the same as we've been doing everywhere. We'll grab a diamond. And we'll plop that in there. And we're going to set it to 63 of these. And if you wonder why, it's because, again... why am I explaining this? You know. If you set it to, like, 64 or anything else... Stop that. There we go. It'll just infinitely seed them in there because they're a little bit broken. But there we go. This is, again, going to end up being, when all is said and done, our... everything you need for a high-voltage solar panel chest. Eventually. We're going to get there. I'm trying to pack all of this into one episode. This is the second recording session for this episode, and they're very long. It's been a week since I started recording this video. I don't have to tell you that. I don't think you'd be able to tell other than the various states of my beard. It's kind of the only thing that changes, isn't it? But this is how far we've gotten, and this is how far we've got left to go. So let's get started on trying to figure out what to do about the UU matter situation. What the heck is going on down here? Alright, what even happened to the other animals? Okay, dude, just not what I meant to do. Oh gosh! Get out of here. Where'd it go? There used to be cows and stuff down here. There were cows. I'm pretty sure there was sheep. What actually happened here? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did my reactor blow up? What? When? I actually have no clue. What could have possibly happened to my reactor? It was running fine. We had it. Was there a change to how reactors worked? We checked in on it not that long ago. This isn't a bit. I actually don't know what happened. I don't know how I didn't realize this sooner also. What on earth? Well, okay. We know the container works now. It's a good thing I make backups of the world. I can go back and try to figure out when exactly that happened. I did not notice it. Was it like this the last time we came down here? I feel like the last time we came down here, it was perfectly fine. And there was other animals. Why are there so many chickens? Is it because of this machine? I thought we fixed this machine with that fence there. So that they wouldn't be able to get out anymore. There's so many of them. Also, we did say at the time, I'm pretty sure, that these doors would be the weak point if ever this thing blew, and it did. It's gone. So wait, have I lost power up top now? Or are there connections between the solar shelf and up top? I don't actually remember. I feel like there must be. I think that it connects kind of like up there. Kind of in that like little L-shaped sort of situation. So, in reality, everything is fine. But I did not realize this had blown up. I don't know where all the other animal went. There's no... I was in the middle of dissecting this. Alright? I was already taking it apart when I suddenly looked around and realized there's a lot more chickens than there was last time. And that you saw in real time the moment I realized that this was gone. So that's great. That's fun. You know, whatever happened there. Good time. Good time had by all. Oh geez, I'm not even picking up all the parts. My inventory is a little bit full. There's so many eggs. Is that why there's screen tear at the top of the screen? VSync is on. So I don't know why there's screen tearing. I have no explanation for that. Should we turn this thing off for a bit, maybe? I mean, this isn't anywhere near being filled up, which is what we're trying to do. So, maybe not. Tell you what, maybe it's just like an idea here to maybe slow things down, because this is getting a little bit out of hand. Let's see if we can't just, let's just speed this thing up a bit. You know, maybe once every 10 seconds is fine. Maybe we don't need it to go. Oh! Okay then. Once every 10 seconds. Alright? There we go. And then that way it'll continue to go and it'll eventually fill up. Which is what we want. Just, you know, it won't be so crazy. Okay. Alright. I'm getting out of here. This place is a nightmare. There's eggs everywhere. I bet you there's no... Look, if we go back up to the house... You know, screen tearing up here. Unless there is, and for some reason I'm just not noticing it. Yeah. Everything seems... Well, no. There's still some screen tearing. Wonder what that is. I wonder what's causing that. Why all these chickens?! Oh, I hung the dragon up on the wall. I did that a while ago. I think I might have forgot to mention it. Looks pretty good, I think. I hope they don't actually... Ew, maybe teleport 2 won't. Like, you know that? I got a better idea, you know? I don't want this getting back to anybody that we've done this. How do I get this back down? There we go. Okay, well now there's a hole in the wall. I think I can fix that, though. There we go. Alright. Nobody panic, it's all okay! Frame rate is just awful no matter where we are at this point. I think it's the chickens. Here we go. This is fun. We'll just, for right now, we'll just stick it there. That's good. Overlooking the factory. Now I gotta set all this back up. At some point I need to go down to the basement and deal with the chicken problem. So here's the situation. The mass fabricator can only accept high voltage, meaning if we need it to produce more UU matter, we just have to make another mass fabricator. Now, if I remember the directions... It's nothing! It's absolutely nothing! Oh my gosh, so I'm gonna go ahead and A over there. I mean, an advanced machine... We're like mass fabricating all of these things at this point. We could just make one of... This is gonna be great. How many of them to make, though? How many do we want to make? That's a good question. We could start with 4... We could, like, you know, we've talked about going back over here and maybe subdividing all of these. So maybe subdivide here, and just have this be nothing but UU matter. That's what we're gonna do. Alright, well, the recording crashed. I think there might be something wrong with the GPU, because I got the GPU from Brenton, who told me there was something wrong with the GPU. But under extreme testing, I couldn't make it do what he said it did, which was that it would blue screen under load. And I figured, well, maybe if that does happen, it won't happen when you're using NVENC, because that doesn't put much load on it. And I was right! Even under the most extreme loads, it doesn't crash. It just crashes randomly. Sometimes the computer will just have the recording paused, I'll be watching YouTube, and it'll die. So, might need to take out that 2080 and put the 1660 back in. Doesn't matter, I don't know if we lost anything, but look! I got this set up now, this is pretty fun and exciting. I did end up making too many. I think I threw the other one in here. I made 7 additional, because I figured we'd do 8, but then after setting it up, I remembered, wait a minute, no, we actually have to have a compacting recycler, and it has to be producing the scrap metal for all of these in order to keep them topped up and running smoothly, and it's doing a great job here. So we went with a pretty traditional pipe setup on this one. I saw no reason to not just do something that we knew would work. So what we've done here, like I said, very traditional. We've done it many times before. But on the end, we do have, and all that's in here is an import upgrade, because up top we have the inner chest full of iron. I love moving matter around the factory like this. Just put inner chests down where they're needed. You don't need to move a lot of iron along the network. You can just have an infinite supply of iron right here on top of the compacting recycler. Did a little trick here, because I wanted to have a lever on there to keep this running at full speed, and it's still ramping up. In order to do that, though, it would turn off the white lamp, except, you'll notice these are inverted white lamps to either side. I made a regular lamp, first time in the series, plopped it down there with the lever so that the lever actually turns it on. Brilliant, I know. And then that is getting fed using the import upgrade. This is the standard one, not the basic one, which means it's upgraded, which means it pulls in a stack at a time, or up to a stack at a time. So that's keeping the iron stacked. What I love about this is it refills so fast you can barely ever see that number drop. And it's actually being pulled out in a lot of different places, this iron, so we're doing good there. But that produces the scrap metal. On the back, we have a logistics chassis MK1 with a quicksort module. We know that if we want to move things quickly, and we're not worried about setting an artificial limit, the quicksort modules paired with an item sink is the way to go, and that's how we're getting items out of these as well. Quicksort module, and then all the way down here we have, oh, not yet we don't, we do have an item sink here. Plop that in, and did I not set it up correctly? Hold on a minute. No, it's set up with UU matter. Huh. Hello? I put that stack in there, so I did that. Well, quicksort modules. item sync, UU matter. This is why we can't have nice things. What I was going to say is we're not going to worry about needing to use a provider and a supplier because the obsidian chest will hold 6,144 objects. That can be the limit, and it can kind of self-regulate itself, except for the fact that it's not going to for some reason, for just some arbitrary reason. Like, I mean, look, the item sync is in there. It is set up correctly. UU matter. You know, if you have a look inside of here, name UU matter. What if I take the UU matter out manually? Get the thing flowing. Maybe it's because of the placement, right? Like maybe for whatever reason the mod can't see the output here. But that's dumb, and that can't be right. This is working. I mean, not right now, but the way we had this configured before with these machines, it could absolutely see the output. But then again, I guess on these machines the output is different. This machine over here specifically, the output's on the top. That shouldn't matter, though. But at this point, it's not working, and I don't know why, so I guess we'll just have to be creative about this. Oh, and the sound's gone. That's good. Love when that happens, for just no reason. Actually, nothing's happened. I don't know why the sound is gone. This is interesting. We'll configure this to UU matter, and we will plop this up here. Yeah, that's got... Well, hold on. Whoa, 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 whoa. It had 1 in it. Oh, I guess that's normal. Yeah, okay. I thought maybe it took some out. All right, well, if I plop that on there, and we put in a item sync, which I don't have any of. I did put item syncs and all those back there, right? I mean, it's a dumb thing to question now, because I know that I did. Quicksort modules is what I meant. So, quicksort module... And I don't know why I made a second item sync, actually. Why did I do that? I'm really confused about the steps that I'm taking to try to resolve this issue. Interesting, well that worked. So it'll only pull them out of the top. But why, though? Let's try something else. Let's see if maybe that was just a fluke. What if we come over here, this one's got 2 in it, what if we just take that out, and then we put it back in? Huh. I mean, I'm glad we figured out the problem. It's just... It's a very odd problem. Let's see what difference, if any, this makes. Oh, there we go. There goes all the UU matter. Good. All I did was relocate it to the top. So up top now, we have that exact same setup. We got the item sync with the scrap metal. We got the quicksort module. And now that should start to fill this up. Lovely. All of these should stay stocked up on the scrap metal. Absolutely. I mean, they're not staying stocked up on scrap metal, even though we have scrap metal. Did I take these out for some reason? Put that back. Make that work. Take that out. Give me that. Get to work. Can scrap metal only be supplied to the rear? Alright, there we go. Yep, now it's working. These are staying topped off. The exports are happening up at the top. Now is not a good time to, like, say that, because I can't really demonstrate it to you, because none of them are about to go, except for that one. That one's close, and I'm still searching for another alternative. This one's not even going! Actually, why isn't this one going? Is it switched? Oh, son of a gun. Alright, well, I mean, I can fix that. That's not a big issue. Compared to some of the other things we've been putting up with here, that's a very relatively minor thing. What we can do is we can move the switch over to this side. So that's not an issue. And we've got to move our regular lamp over here, too. Considering we always use the inverse lamps, I feel like the regular lamp is the inverted lamp, right? You know what I mean? But there we go. That one... Really? Are you kidding me? Really? All right. Oh no! It's real easy to build a new one. So what happened there? was that I forgot that it had a transformer in it. Okay, all right. We're gonna make smarter decisions this time. That's okay. We're gonna put this in there, and then we're gonna place down our MFSU, and then we're gonna orient it. There we go. All right, everything is fine so far, and then we have to orient this up top. There we go. Jeez. All right. Start importing objects. It's gonna take a while for it to heat back up or warm. I don't know. Everything's a bit of a mess. I just had to start throwing things in this chest over here because it was all taking up way too much space in my inventory. Alright, now I gotta get it all running again. I think it's just these two missing. And then hopefully we have enough of... Okay. Alright, what are you? Request items UU matter. You go there. No, you don't. That's false. You get that. You get that. And you get that. And then I don't know why I have you. And then there we go. Everything should be back up and running. So this is going to take a long time to speed back up. You know, I don't know if we really need a switch on it. It might be so active that it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, it might have enough. If we'd added a buffer, like maybe an additional chest to sort of hold a lot of... Oh, we could still do that. I don't know why I'm saying it like it's out of the question. We can absolutely still do that. So let's get a chest. We will do an obsidian chest, and we'll plop that up there. We'll replace this with one of its kin. We're gonna get that first off because we're gonna need that here in a second. We'll get an MK2. Oh, but wait a minute. It's only going to interact with one pipe at a time. We can't make this interact with both of these inventories, I don't believe. So that's actually not quite going to work like that. You know what? This pipe right here is not doing anything, so maybe that'll work. We'll plop this on there, and then we'll set this down right here. And so you can tell by which inventory the pipe is interacting with based on how many lights. So you'll see the orange and the red. That indicates that it's interacting with that pipe. So this one here is orange and red here, and only red right down here, meaning this pipe is not interacting with this chest, but this one is. And so we want to configure it to request the scrap, specifically the scrap metal. There we are. And then we also want to configure it with a quicksort module so that it will... Ooh. Yeah, there's a potential with this that we might end up in a scenario where there will be scrap circulating in the network with nowhere to go, and then it gets spewed out on the ground. But that's a problem to solve later. So, there we go. So this should also at some point fill up. I don't know if it's going to prioritize like these first or what, but the idea is that once all these are full, it'll keep making them indefinitely, which will keep this filled up, but not indefinitely, just until this chest is full. And then when this chest is full, this will stop running, but it won't slow down these machines any, because when they need some, they can summon it from here, and then this can very slowly cook up some more. Maybe that's how it'll work. We'll come back and check. For right now, though, we could take UU matter off the list, but it was never on the list to begin with. Okay, you know what? I was going to look at making these. We're going to remove them from the list so the list looks smaller and we feel more accomplished. Now, what color does UU matter look like? Is it more of a purple wool or is it more of a magenta? It's definitely more purple. Okay, in that case, we're going to slap this sucker down and we are going to grab some purple. And we'll use 2 purples, I think, because I don't think that's been used yet. Perfect. And then the final thing that we'll need is some more item translocators. You might remember we built quite a few of those previously. We will also need to grab a little bit of glowstone. Just a single solitary piece ought to get the job done. And turn that on. Oh, wait, no. Wait. Do we want to... So what we've been doing is we've been using this here, right? And this is the everything you need for a high voltage solar panel chest. But we might... UU matter is not needed for a high voltage solar panel. UU matter is needed to make other components. So that's fine. We'll have it be in its own ender chest. And so once this one's full, this will fill up, and then once that one's full, everything should stop running. Well, no, these will fill up first, and then everything will stop running. Perfect. I just don't want everything running all of the time, you know? Unless, maybe we'll do a big CPU upgrade at some point, and then, I don't know, consider becoming a channel member. Help support that kind of nonsense. Alright, I did just remember that we do in fact have a, we have one of these just full of UU matter, and that's enough to completely fill this, and possibly this, and have some left over. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to drain this as quick as we can using, you know, a hopper, so not that quickly. And then all of this will stop running. But then we'll start using the UU matter and it'll all come back online and it'll be fine. This is starting to fill up, which is good. That means that these are all stocked up. Excellent. So okay, so the way it's going to work, I'm actually excited now. All of these are going to stop running. That's going to fill up. This is going to fill up. And it's going to stop running and it's going to slow all the way down. But then when we start using UU matter, it's going to start pulling it out of here. So this will start refilling that. And then these machines are going to be like, you know, they're going to be full. They're going to be empty. And they're going to be like, we got to go again. We need more of this. And there will be plenty in here. And then that'll get started warming up again to keep that topped. Oh, it's going to be so beautiful. All right. Plasmafier. Got to get that set up next. The issue is it can accept EV voltage. And if we want it to actually be, you know, efficient, we should probably set it up in such a way that it will get EV voltage. But how would we do that? The power coming out of here is extreme voltage, or could be potentially, and it's not right now. But do we set it up down here? Or do we try to delicately run... Oh, we don't actually need this big cable, do we? Didn't we just do that as a bit of a lark? No, we do want to use high voltage cables. Well, that might make it a little bit easier and safer to route the power then, if we have it kind of separated and it doesn't come into contact with the glass fiber cables. It'll have to be its own separate run. How would we do that? Would we have it come off of here and then maybe go along, like, right inside of here? All the way down to here. And then at some point, I mean, it's going to lose, even with the 4X, 0.8 EU. That's not ever going to really add up to enough for me to be worried about it. But then that brings us to, like, what? Maybe have it go under? Having it go under would be safer, actually. In fact, the safest thing to do would have it be in a completely different floor. So, yeah. Maybe have it go straight down through the floor here on its own separate route to wherever we end up putting the Plasmafier. I kind of want to set it up back here where it's going to be close to the mass fabricator, you know, if that's already going to be running anyway. If we put it right here, we can't put it all the way on the end without sort of reshuffling all of this, which I'm happy to do because there's no reason for all of this to be the way that it is. Yeah, we can rework this. We can make this work. It'll just... we're playing with fire is the issue, isn't it? That's the real concern, is that it could go so wrong so quickly. None of this is necessary right now, is it? None of this is contributing anything to anything at all. Of course, the better thing to do would be to replace all of this with HV cable. And then... kind of like what we were talking about with the HV flex cable, we could just have HV transformers at the start of each row. So basically we have that heavy-duty cable come all the way down here, and then at the start of each row, you just have, kind of like how here we have the MV transformer at the start of this row. We just do that, but, and then kind of a similar situation down here where we need high voltage, all the way up and until here, so I put an MV transformer there. Just do that, but with high voltage. Actually... yeah, let's just do that. Oh, and also, we have so much 4X insulated HV cable, because it's automated. Look at... did you see what just happened? Oh my gosh, okay. Just waiting to come across a cable I forgot to break and accidentally plug it in and blow up the entire factory. It's gonna be so funny when it happens. So far, nothing bad has happened. Well, What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that timing? How did I even do that? Could I do that again if I tried? I don't even know what I did just then. How? I can't redo it. Anyway, here's what I think we do, right? I think we have the line come up. I think we have it go off 1. Then I think we have the high voltage transformer. And then I think I remember the direction this goes, right? Like that? Is it frozen? What? I think transformers go with the red bit pointing into what they're transforming, like that. And then do we also want to do like an MFE or something? Do we have MFSU? Yeah, why not? Each line gets its own MFSU because I said so. Beautiful. That's going to go into a high volt... Wait a minute. You are a high voltage transformer. I'm not blowing up my network. I am breaking this first, just in case so I can verify. That goes on there. And then that gets reversed. Okay. There we go. And then... we plug it in. That little delay right after I plugged it in, where it definitely felt like we were about to hear an explosion somewhere, had me concerned. So that's filling up. That goes down here to these. Everything's good. Everything's fine. Now I just got to do that on literally every row. Well, not every row. In fact, here's a series of rows in a rows that don't have that. It's really, this is the next one. Okay, one of those. High voltage transformers. Do we want to do an MF? I don't know if we need an MFSU going into here, but I suppose we could add one. Just go into here, and then MFSU. There we go. And that should keep the... Oh, come here. There we go. Alright. So that should resupply power to all of these, which they were never empty to begin with. That one kind of was. It's going back up. It was draining. It was never close to being empty. And nothing blowing up. Everything looking good. All right. What was my end goal? Plasmafier. I remember now. We're going to have to punch a hole. Oh. Gosh dang it. These are going to connect now. And I'm assuming that'll blow these up. Dang it. This is the whole reason I did all of this. Okay. We just gotta be creative, okay? That's all we gotta do. We're gonna have to relocate this cable. We could have it go along the front here. That would be okay. And then that still leaves that gap there. Yeah, that'll be fine. We could also relocate this entirely. It's not that big of a deal. You know, this is a little bit of a nuisance, what we're doing here. But this gets the exact same thing across here. Alright, there we go. We're doing as minimal effort here to change this over as absolutely necessary. So that leaves enough of a gap for this to hook up, or pass over it. I don't want to say we're playing with fire, but we are playing with electricity. And when you do that, eventually you're going to get electrocuted. So it's been explained to me. But now, we should be able to have right under here, actually, we're probably going to do a chest there. So right here, we should now have our Plasmafier. Please don't blow up. Thank you. Okay. And then if we wanted to grab just a stack of UU matter and see how much of a difference this makes. How fast is it now? Am I supposed to put a cell in it or something? I mean, I know I'm supposed to put a cell in it eventually. Where's my little reader? Here you are. Come here. How much power is going through here? That's a lot of power. That's quite a bit of power going through there. It looks like it is, like, it's obviously working. It's just, I don't know, I expected it to be markedly more quick than this. And it's just not. Also, we have to find a way to get cells cycled in and out of here. Here's the thing. Your regular old cell, okay? If we're using these, then we need an empty cell, and an empty cell has an EMC value. So we could just generate empty cells with EMC, And then somewhere down the line, we have to do something with them. Because, right, you use a plasma cell here, okay? If we use that in this recipe, it leaves an empty cell. What do we do about that? I know there's a crafting cleanup module. Do we cycle them back over here, or do we just delete them into the aether? That would be easier. And they cost nothing, so no great loss. The reason for the gap is because I'm going to put a piece of glass here, and then I'm going to put this corresponding ender chest, and hook all that up with probably pipes. We'll probably use pipes. There's no reason not to. I mean, yeah, we could use these, but you can get things a little bit more compact this way. And I've kind of turned back to the way I used to be. By which I mean I used to be pretty, like, you know, fully invested in the logistics pipes. And then I went through a little bit of a blue period where I was like, no, this is the way to go. And now looking at this compared to this down here, that's not the way to go. Now, it's frustrating that we have to have 2 different runs of pipes here to make this work. But it is working. And this is draining slowly. And that's filling up slowly. And life's good. So, I'd actually completely stopped recording because I realized, you know what, it'd probably be better if I just go ahead and finish everything. There's so much more to do still, and it's going to take so long, and I should probably just stop recording and then come back when it's done. But I ran into an interesting problem that I wanted to discuss with you folks because I think it might contribute to some of the things that we've learned in the past. So I was working on getting these set up. I did make a second Plasmafier, and we've got them both hooked in here with the 4X HV cables, but you'll notice that there's a lot going on here. There's a chest full of UU matter first off. Why is that there? There are ender chests over here. If I had recorded it all as I went, this would all make sense, but I didn't, so I'm going to have to try to catch you up. So, basically, the issue that I was having was I had the ender chests stacked on top of one another here, and I had them each hooked up using a logistics chassis MK1 and a quicksort module. And the issue I was having was that sometimes empty cells just wouldn't go into the Plasmafiers, or they'd only go into the first one here, and I thought that's strange, so I kind of reconfigured it and had them still stacked up right here, but coming out and going into the tops, and at that point it went into this one, but not this one. Now I did get a comment from channel member and executive producer on occasion, and I believe maybe brother to famous Harry Potter director David Yates, so Jake Yates, or maybe he's his son or his father. I'm sure there's a blood relation there somewhere. That he has a similar factory, or a larger factory at this point, and he was having similar issues because of the logistics power junctions. Now, this has been reorganized since the last time you saw it. We'll touch on that in a minute. But I did check, and no. Power is not our issue. We are barely tickling the power consumption. So that wasn't the problem. And no, we'll come back to that. What I did was I started doing some experimentation. I thought maybe it doesn't like the ender chests. So I moved them over here and was using the item translocators to hop between ender chests to regular chests, had them stacked on top of each other, and I kept trying all of these different things until I eventually realized that when this chest here, and just to demonstrate that it's working, we'll take that out, and we'll give it a beat, and then boom, there it goes, and it will take them out over here as well. And then boom, there they go, before I could even get back here. So it is working now. But the issue is, and this is odd, because I don't think we've ever had this issue before, when this is right here, you notice that connection? That shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter because the red means that it's not connected, right? And then the orange-red means that it is. Well, that's what I've been thinking this entire time, but if we move this back up here, and we get that quicksort module, and we drop it in there, and then we come back around here and we take these empty cells out, you'll notice nothing happens. And if I come down here and I take these empty cells out, you'll notice something happens. But nothing happens here. And I'm wondering, well, no, I'm not wandering, I'm sitting right here. Well, I guess the proper word would be wandering. No, hold on. Wondering. It is wondering, because wandering would be that I'm moving around. Who made this language? Gosh darn you, the English! You can't even say it properly as well. You make this terrible language, you impose it on all of us. You can't even pronounce the name of the river that runs through your capital correctly. Thames? It's not even the right letters, you're crying out loud. Anyway, I'm wondering if it's this. Now, I did notice as I was going through some of the different upgrade modules that there is one titled the... Let's do this differently. Let's type in module. Let's type in logistics. There we go. What am I looking for? What are these called? They're all called upgrades. But there was one called the... Not the opaque upgrade, although... Maybe. Right here. Disconnection Upgrade. I don't know if that does what I think it does, which is that it physically disconnects a pipe from another like storage device. But I thought it might be worth testing just to see. Because, I mean, the easy solution there is we just move the ender chests further away. But, you know... It seemed like a fun idea to find out, and so that's what we're going to do. And what we're missing right now is a block of gold. Flash! That upgrade! Why is the frame rate... Is it just the chickens? Is it because there's so many chickens and they keep popping out eggs that everything's such a mess around here? I mean, look at that frame rate. What are we sitting at right now? 46? It was at that for a second? Look, it's awful. It's absolutely just abhorrent right now. The Minecraft music does sort of put me in a bit of a chill mood, though, so that helps. And now we want to build that. That gives us 8 of them. And we're going to need to drop by and pick up, I think, some of the module upgrades that should be inside of this chest right over here. And, yep, got 4 of those. I did not grab the tool that lets me kind of configure these, but let's see. If I just plop that in there... And then we open this up, and we add a disconnect upgrade. Well, never mind then. Alright, that didn't work, but maybe that's not... Hold on, maybe we're not approaching it correctly. Let's grab the actual pipe controller here, because maybe it needs to be applied not to the module, but maybe it needs to actually be applied to the pipe itself. So let's get the module upgrade out of there. And then the disconnect upgrade can be installed, but it's very upset about it. Ooh, okay. We have to pick the side, I guess? Do I right-click? I right-click. Oh my gosh, and it happened immediately. Look at that. You see what just happened there? Hold on a tick. Oh, baby! How many of our automation woes have been caused by that? Oh, darn it. Oh, should we install one here too? I mean, it seems unnecessary, but at this point, you know what? Why not? Let's go ahead and do it, since we've got a few of them. And that is connected, and we don't want it to be. So, left-click, disconnect it, done! And I guess we need to have some place to just, like, throw excess stuff as well. You know what? Actually, it's just, it looks like all that's getting spit out of it. You know what? I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you exactly what we're going to do. Because here, it looks like what we're getting is... hold on. First things first, we need another one of these. And we don't really... I guess it doesn't matter if it connects to both of those. That's okay. Then we're going to get an ender chest, and we're going to get some ink. 3 pieces. And some of you already see where this is going. This is the bye-bye bag chest, right? If we get out our handy-dandy bye-bye bag... Oh, yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do... is because it looks like all we're getting out here sometimes is the occasional scrap metal. I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't care if it gets, you know, voided out of existence. So I'm going to put that there. And then we are going to go down here and add a disconnect upgrade just to make sure we don't end up with any issues there. Perfect. And now we need to configure a item sync module with nothing, set it as default route. So anything that has nowhere else to go will go in here. And instead of being spit out on the ground like that piece there, what should happen is they go here and get instantly voided out of existence. Hopefully. Now, there's a couple of different ways to test this and see. One of those is to just stand here and watch. Hang in there, big boy. You got this. One of those options is to stand there and just watch this, but I think the other approach that's probably a little bit better is to just walk away and leave it alone, and then we'll come back later, and if there's any on the ground, we know it didn't work, but I have a feeling that's going to work. Okay, well, now here's a question for you. Now that we know that we can do that sort of disconnection there, what do I need to do? What about getting... Gosh darn it. So, the way that I originally had this... First off, let's break that. Oh! We're going to have to move all this back over here now. Oh, that emptied. I didn't think it would actually empty. I guess, you know, some of them have been getting consumed over here, so that's probably why. Jeez, what am I supposed to do about this? Just break a hole in the floor? I guess that is what I'm supposed to do. Oh, I never explained why the pipes were blown up. I guess I should probably do that as well. Right, so this wasn't hooked up earlier, and I decided to hook it up, and when I did, the logistics power junction that was sitting up here before exploded. I wasn't sure why. Then I realized, when the power junctions were up here, they were making contact with this glass fiber cable. The power junctions cannot accept high voltage energy. So why didn't any of them blow up? Well, the only one that energy was actually being drawn from was the one all the way on the end. And if it was sitting here, you'll note, or well, actually it was right there, didn't have a cable attached to it. So everything was fine because we were never using more power than this one logistics power junction could provide. As soon as I did click, well, I don't want to do that now. I'm just trying to do a demonstration. But as soon as I hooked these up to this one, which was up here, it started drawing power from it, which means it started supplying power back to itself from this glass fiber cable, and it exploded. And then I hooked it up again, and it exploded again. Because I wasn't sure what happened the first time. I needed to see it happen for me to put the pieces together. But I just kind of reshuffled them a bit, set them down here, built 2 new ones. It's all good. That's what happened. I didn't want to leave that unanswered. Although I was going to because I forgot. But as soon as I remembered, I realized I probably shouldn't gloss over that. That's a bit of a... You know, you leave at one moment, and all of that's set up the way it's been for literal months. And then you come back the next moment, and all of it is way different. And you've got a lot of questions, and the funny guy in the video, the funny man making the YouTube video, who keeps insisting he's not an artificial intelligence, just goes beep boop, carry on, beep boop, pay no attention to the man behind the beep boop. Who knows what that means? That could mean anything. Okay, but this though, right? But this though, I mean that's working obviously. It sucked out the UU matter. That one should also suck out the UU matter. But can we go back to? I mean, I'm not sure how that. It might be that we do indeed have to pipe the empty cells into the tops of these, which would be dumb. But if I plop that back on there, and we have a look here, empty cell, yeah, and then we have this here, so click that in there, and that should already be in there, and then this here. There's another question I have for you, because there's another issue we were having. But first off, let's get one of these. And plop that down. Make sure... we didn't really need to do that. Let's see. UU matter. So this is now requesting both an empty cell and a UU matter. And that didn't work before. That didn't work before. But was that actually a result of... No, so it looks like it was already full to begin with. Okay. It's not going to... We can take the UU matter out. And it'll restart. Why, though? Why? And would it help if I did this? And then... I don't understand why we would need to disconnect it. But if that's the issue, I'll do it. Okay? You see what I mean? I bet you this one here is still working. If we take that out. Probably because, yeah, it's being supplied from the top. Interesting. Fair. I don't care. Oh, the empty cells are being generated up on an upper... I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that as well. Like I say, I turned it off. But you might remember way up here on the gray floor, where we're generating things that are assembled in a sense, you know? So like up here we have... And I haven't put down a frame for it yet. But we have the furnaces, we have the glass. And then I suppose while we're in the area, we'll go ahead and grab a frame. And this is where we are generating the... Is that... what? Oh. Oh, interesting. There's already a frame there, I guess. This is where we're generating the cells. Well, if it's the case that you can only pipe those into the top, and you can only pipe these into the back... Well, we don't know that you can only pipe those into the back. I guess we should figure that out next. We know that this one's working, so let's break it. We know it's functional, so let's make it not functional, and then that way we'll learn whether or not we can make it functional, but in a different way. We'll stick an MK2 on there, which was in my inventory the whole time. We will take this one over here that's been modified. Okay, take that item sync. Yep. Make sure that this one is out of there. Plop this one in here. And then we're going to take out both of those. Okay. Alright. Oh, UU matter. Interesting. Well, let me ask you this. This one's the UU matter and empty cells as well, so whatever, we'll plop that in there. And that'll bring in the UU matter. UU matter's got to go in from the back. Empty cells got to go in through the top. I can't get the end product to come out, and the one place I haven't tried to extract it from is the bottom. So, I mean, we might have to figure out where to run the electricity to if we can't do it down here. But, I mean, really, I'm kind of desperate at this point. I've tried all manner of different things to get it out of there. So I guess we'll just hook up one of these. You know, it's going to be without power for a minute, but I can't pretend to care about that. That's a really minor issue. I just need to see that it actually is capable of, in some way, extracting these things. So let's see. There we go. And then, I think I was trying to do it with this chest. So I'll have to set that up too, right over here. And then this is set up with one of these I think it's this one. Alright, that's fine. I'll set it up myself. Beautiful. Okay. Is it that one? Yep, that one. And then the chest. And then we didn't actually stick a quicksort module in there, but I think we can do it at this angle. What a ridiculous machine. So what are our options for powering it? I guess I guess we'll have to plug it in from the side. The reason they're so far apart is because I even tried using the item transceivers with a chest in the middle, because I was getting a little desperate and I couldn't figure this out. But I guess what we'll have to do now is we're going to have pipes on 3 sides of this thing. Unless, and I say unless, hold on, was that, I thought I saw an item bobbing around back here. There is another upgrade. There is something called the Placement Rules Upgrade. And I'm wondering if it's possible that could be used. So I'm sure it could be used to determine where things go. Maybe in a crafting grid or in a chest. I don't think it could be used to tell it where to extract items from. Then again, I don't know. I could look it up, but sometimes that's not super helpful. But I'll go ahead and give it a go. Wow. Usually, sometimes I find at least an article about it. I can't even find like a wiki listing. I can't find anything useful on Reddit. I have no idea what this thing does or why you would want to use it. And it doesn't appear anywhere. I guess we'll just have to try. Okay, so what we want to do is determine... We're going to give this a shot. We're going to try again here. We have this module here that does the 2 of these. We'll plop that in there. It doesn't quite work. It only works with one of them. But let's see if we can go into here and add the placement rules up. Okay, well, maybe it's applied to the module. That makes sense. So let's plop that in there. No, it is not. It's not applied to the module. At least not to the item sync module. Fortunate. Well, let's try adding a quicksort module. That's going to help us get the items out, which is what we want to do, without having to hook it up to the bottom of the darn thing. So if I add that, then can we use the placement rule? Okay, well, this is not going to work. I did not realize you could do this! To what end? Haven't figured that out yet. It'd be great if that meant the bottom... Like, which side is the bottom? I'm actually confused. Hold on. If we... well, that's not what I wanted to do. I need to look at the thing sitting upright. Okay. So that dark spot there is the bottom. So if I flip it around, no matter what I do, no matter where I'm standing when I do it, this now becomes the bottom. Right? So this is where we extract from. But why is it always facing south? Could we not, like... Could we not get it facing a different direction? You know what? I tell you what. We're gonna make this work. Come hell or high water. We're making this work. So we're gonna plop these down like so. And then we're going to flip them up like that. So they should still be getting power. And then we're going to need to extract from the bottoms. We're going to need a lot of these, aren't we? So there we are. Extract from the bottoms. Oh, but you also have to insert into the tops. This is going to take up so much space. I don't think we have any other options, though. This is kind of what it's going to have to be no matter what. So, alright then. Alright then. It's fine. We got space. We got space. Alright. We've got space. We got space to spare. We can fit another one. Well. No. No, we couldn't. Not here, at least. We might end up... you know what? We don't even know how many of these we're going to ultimately end up needing. How many solar panels are we going to build? I don't know. That's not what I want to do. I want to do that. And then I want to add one of those disconnect upgrades, wherever the heavens those went, so that this doesn't happen, because I'm not sure, but this could be bad, and I'd rather not risk it. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and just say preemptively, nah. This one, though, I think we can say pretty definitively, yeah. Yeah, that one's fine. Okay, so connect there. And then... So that's the input. That's the extraction. Input. Extraction. And then... There's another input on the side. And then these all have to hook together somehow. Alright. But then these actually have to be basic. Okay. Alright. Now, see if I can remember what goes where. Basically, we're going to have... This part's easy. We're extracting out of the bottom. So put those two there. And then the input, we're going to need one more of these in order to get this working. And so help me if this doesn't work. Every so often, like, you know what's fun? You know what's fun is actually, and I do mean this, the problem solving is fun. So we'll have this one be that, this one be that, this one will be this. But what I don't like is the problems. The solving the problems, I love. It's the problems themselves. Like, when things just aren't working and you can't figure it out, or the solutions are bizarre. So, item sync module... That goes on the top. That also goes on the top. These go on the side. It should technically work. There they go. They're getting UU matter. Lovely. They already got the empty cells. Lovely. And now the only way we're going to know for sure if they work is we're just going to have to wait and see whether or not... Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and take a note here. I have... 39 of these in here. We're looking for 40 or more. I'm not going to stand here and wait. I don't know of any way I could make this any more compact. Because even if I flipped them back up around the way they were, I suppose we could put them side by side. With power in the middle. And then... Okay, so they could be here and here with power in the middle. But then you'd still need cables to either side on the tops and then the bottoms, which means the power would have to go under the cables and back up. I think we would save, if I'm visualizing it in my mind properly, we'd save one more cable. By the way, we're still having screen tearing. I don't know if you noticed, even though VSync is on. I don't know why. Good to know that this was never a problem, you know? Hey, you know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to go ahead and do? Because this is to extract that, right? Hey, you know what? Let's just preemptively say, hey, you know, just so you don't have any problems. Not saying you're going to. Don't do what you're doing here. There you go. Just don't do that. Oh, I think I picked the wrong thing. Yeah, don't do that either. Was it connecting up to this? That's odd. Was it connecting up to the power cable? I definitely clicked right-click on something. Hold on. Did something just come out of there? Not yet. Not yet. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Oh! Oh! Oh, wait. Did I set this back up? Did I reconfigure this? You son of a gun. You are in fact configured with your quicksort module. How much do you want to bet that the issue is that it's a gravity-based thing, so it doesn't matter what direction this is facing? That can't be true. That can't be true. Because it has to come into the top in order for these to go in, so that's working. So, why? There's that again. Okay, I mean, the only thing I know to try is sort of what we've done before, which is to just go underneath it, disconnect the power, connect this up, and then just grab a regular old unrouted cable. Well, I guess it is in some way comforting that it didn't immediately draw it out. That is something, at least. It's still in there. Alright. So we do still have a quicksort module. What about out of the side? What about out of the top? What about from anywhere? This is literally the only side I haven't tried yet. So I guess at this point, in a moment of desperation, we'll try that next. And if that works, good. At this point, you know, good. Why? Just why? Why am I just here to suffer? Is that what I'm here for? That's not what I was told. I was told this was going to be my chance at redemption. I was going to finally just earn my forgiveness for all those horrible, horrible fruit war-related atrocities that I committed. I was going to be freed from the hard drive prison, allowed to roam those coveted digital hills, be called BrachiateCub again. Alright, what if I face it back this way? That's now the Why? Alright, I think this is good, because this is going to end up working out better for us anyway, okay? Trust me on this. So that's going to be that. That goes up there. Go right there. It goes right there. This is much more compact than I was initially thinking it would end up being, okay? Let's plug in the power. Nothing's blowing up just yet. There's currently 43 in here, because time has passed. If we come down here, I can kind of show you what I did. First off, this can go. Unnecessary. I routed the cable around. I know! Wild! And then I routed this around, and then I disconnected this because I realized I wanted these items to go up here, so I disconnected this too. I mean, there's real no reason for that to be there, and that's perfectly okay and fine. It's no big deal. But, that should work, though these are hooked up from the bottom. So, these are hooked in from the top, these are hooked in from behind. They've got empty cells, they've got UU matter. This one does not have an empty cell. Why don't... Oh, son of a gun. You crazy son of a gun. Oh, good, that must have been the one... Oh. Oh, you're just confused and all kinds of wrong. I didn't think that they would hold their configuration, but there we go. I guess that they do. So there we go. So that one's hooked up properly now, and it has empty cells. That was pretty quick. And now I know that these things they have some kind of memory. Can you clear them in some way? I'm trying to shift left click or shift right click, and it still doesn't stack. Great. Just gonna have to keep an eye on that one the next time I try to use it. But there we go. So far, so good. Again, 43. When we hit 44, we can call this a great success. We can carry on and do something different. I've been at this for a literal week. I recorded enough videos in a row that I could spend the past week doing this nonsense. And then hopefully, you know, be done in time for it to come out. And the deadline is approaching rapidly, so we'll find out. I think we can pretty safely say, though, that I don't need that, and we can maybe... I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. I'm gonna say we did it. I'm gonna say plasma cells done. I might want to reconfigure the order of things down there because it's literally the opposite of how everything else is set up. I normally have power on this side, and it's the literal exact reverse. That's an issue to sort out later. Maybe when we're done, like with the entire factory, that's an issue to sort out. But what we want to do right now is we just want to wait and see what happens. I'm telling you right now, if I come over here... Look, we have enough room now, though, using this exact same setup. We can add 2 more machines here, which is solid. So we could double our output, which is just fantastic. And then also, this is actually... I was worried this would end up... We'd have too many of these, but that is not the case, and that's good to see. It looked like that resupplied something, probably UU matter. And we're just waiting. We're waiting. I'm not gonna take for granted that this probably won't work. I'm not gonna, that it will work. I'm going to assume it won't work. I'm not gonna take for granted that it will. I'm gonna stand here and I'm just gonna watch. I'm gonna stand here. I'm gonna put this on. The last time we did this, I ended up yelling a lot. The last time we put it on, the clean camera, you know, we got rid of all the UI and everything. I ended up screaming at the screen in anger and frustration, and that's not going to happen today, because today is going to be a good day. Feel it going my way. Today, got happy news coming my way. Today, look at that! Oh, happy day when Jesus washed, when Jesus washed, when Jesus washed. And again, we can double that in the future if we want to. Do we want to? No, we all want to go play Mario Wonder. I've only played the first few levels, but I gotta tell you, it's one of the best Mario games of all time. Mostly just because, you know what, there's a lot of creativity on display, which I love to see. I feel like we haven't gotten a lot of creativity from this series in a while. Okay, so yeah, we've got that marked out there now. So what do we move on to? We're so close. In order to do this, we gotta do this. In order to do this, we gotta do this. We've got these. So this is just a matter of, that's just a matter of one and then a different crafting table. One crafting table and then a different crafting table. And I reckon we could do both of those in a row. Kind of like how over here we do all of these in a row. And this is good and it's fine. And also I'm thinking about replacing these with ender chests so that we can, you know, have these objects all around the factory. I think that would be a good idea. And if you disagree, I don't care. You're wrong and a morally bad person. I don't know, let's say we tuck it in right here, right? I mean, what would we actually need? We need to get Iridium Ore built, so we need to have the UU matter chest. We can put the UU matter chest here, and then, you know what? We'll just use the crafting tables. That's what I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to do. We're going to grab... we've been kind of bouncing back and forth between using the different types of crafting table, but I'm feeling confident. You know what? We only need one of them. We only need one of them with this. Where's the UU? What colors are the UU matter chests? It's white and then it's white and then purple and then purple. All right, this should work. The way I've got it currently set up, and I will be happy to demonstrate, is inside of here we have UU matter. Yep, it is immediately working. Beautiful. Provider module, the recipe. Crafting pipe, you've seen that. We've got an active supplier requesting 64 and partial, and we're putting that inside of an ender chest. And the reason we're doing an ender chest is because then we can sort of teleport it all over the place. And we're not making a whole lot of them. I just have it set to 64. But we're... Hold on, what are the uses for this? This can only be used... This can only be used to make one thing. This serves one... Well... Unless we need iridium ingots, what are those used for? What are the uses for those? Iridium iron plate. What are the uses for those? Refined iridium iron plate. What are the uses for those? And for those... Advanced solar panel. We'll leave it. We'll let it be. We might go ahead and increase it though. Just go ahead and take that out, and then we'll say maybe do 3. There you go. But then also there's already a stack in there, and then yeah. What happens if we set it to infinite? Because I know on some things if you set it to infinite, it'll never stop. But if it's being pulled from logistics pipe, is that the case as well? Like, will it continue to pull them out of here, and if they have nowhere to go, they just be broken? Surely not. I don't know. Should we find out? Should we just go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Never mind. Infinite. Let's see what happens. Let's play that game. Let's play the game of chance. I'm ready. Also, I think we can get rid of this. I think that's pretty much served its purpose. And then also give me that back. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, I think I see what's happening here. Right. Yeah, it's bringing them back over to... probably here? No? Oh! And they're coming back! You know what? We gotta very rapidly break this before horrible things happen. Yeah, those are gonna get spit out somewhere. We need a firewall pipe, and now. There we go. Allow power and nothing else. If you set this to allowed, it blocks anything that's not in this filter, which is why we always do it, because that's exactly what we want to do. There are a ton of those inside. They're eventually going to get spat out on the ground, and we'll deal with them later. For now, though, we do have 45 of them. Yeah, oh, this whole thing got emptied. Oh, wow. Oh, so you're all now, like, kicking it into high gear, huh? We consumed all of them that rapidly? Huh. Oh, well. This is self-regulating. You'll notice the speed's only about 7, 6, 7%, and that's perfectly fine, because this is full. You can supply all of these. There's no reason for this thing to be running. Look, sometimes it doesn't even run. Sometimes it just turns off, and that's good. How many do you reckon are in there? If I break this pipe, will I get them? Yes, I will. Good. Add those back into the system, and then we can reconfigure this. Same thing as before. Here we are. And then why... get rid of that hopper. Well, you know, the next thing we need to do is, actually, I think I got what I need in my inventory here. We need to actually make the iridium plate now, which means we need to get advanced alloy and diamonds over here. So we'll go ahead and install those corresponding ender chests. We're actually going to run out of ender chests, possibly even today. We need to go make more, which I feel like I just did, but there we go. That'll be 2 of them, diamonds. And then this over here, did we ever... Yeah, that's set up to 2 dark grays. Well, no, it's set up to 2 regular grays. There is no dark gray. There's only gray and light gray. But then again, you know, what is dark gray without the light? What is Batman without the night? I don't know, something like that. Alright, hear me out on this one. You know how this one's white, and then dark gray? And that's what gives us our iridium ore? Or is that light gray? Because I was going to say what I'm going to do over here is I'll do white, and then light gray. Oh, those are the same. Nah, in that case, we will do... double light gray? Yeah, because this is the first step. And then the finished plates, which is what we're building inside of here, are the second step. Yeah, Minecraft Diamond. There we go. Excellent. Although, that kind of looks a bit more like a... You know what? It uses advanced alloy as well. So we could do light gray, dark gray, if we wanted. Doesn't really matter. Oh, did that stop? No, it stopped because it ran out of fuel matter. Oh, really? This is not enough mass fabricators, huh? To keep up with the excessive demands? Who would have guessed? Well, we're trying. You gotta remember that UU matter's also going over to here, except right now it's not, because the corresponding chest is empty. That might need to... We might need to make more mass fabricators. The issue could also be power. Because... Actually, well, they're still running. They haven't stopped running, which is good. Even though they are only being supplied 4 HV packets. Isn't that correct? This takes in 1 extreme voltage and outputs 4 HV. Wait a minute, though. The MFSU could be a bottleneck to this system. Could be. Yeah, because that one... Why did I not realize that sooner? We could be getting 4 full packets, but this limits it down to 1. That's gotta go. I'm glad I figured it out now. I'm glad that thought popped into my head. But that's actually gotta come off there, and the wrench is too low to do it. For those of you who are kind of, maybe a little unsure... I wonder if it's the chickens what set off the reactor. Because the sheer volume of them... It's just... It's out of control. Maybe they didn't even do it on purpose. Maybe just the volume of chickens caused the game to lag such that the reactor blew up for some reason. Because I don't think anything in the update would have broken the reactor. I'm not setting it back up. It's a tragedy what's happened, but, you know, we have solar power now. They're just constant, and they're everywhere. Everywhere you walk, there's more eggs. And they're getting in the way of the teleporters now. What do you mean you can't take me to the space? Is it... Stop taking the chickens! Take me! Jeez. Oh, great. They're everywhere. I'm gonna try to use teleporters here. If you were wondering, by the way, why it is that we need to do what we are currently doing, that's good. It's good that you're asking questions and wondering things, because then that opens up the door for you to learn. The problem is, so much has happened that I've forgotten what I was doing here now. Oh, right, that MFSU. Okay, so the... basically, an MFSU can accept as many packets as you want to send it of a certain size. So this can accept a 512 packet, and as many of them as you send. But it will only ever output one packet of 512 per tick. This is outputting 4 high-voltage packets. This is accepting them, but it's only outputting 1, and that is limiting how much power we have for all of our machines. So we're going to do away with the MFSU, and if we have any on me, and I should, I don't know where they would be unless they're in that chest up there, which is exactly where they are, unfortunately. It's right up here, and there they are. This will help us get 4 full 512 packets to these machines, although saying that is not enough to keep them all powered, because there's 8 of them, and each of them can accept high voltage, so that really only helps us get, like, the first 4 up and running. This one's not run out yet. If it halves the power between them, though, then each of them is going to be running at 50%. Okay, right. So what we should do, and what we could do, and what we're going to do, is we're going to need to add a second one of these. We do have a high voltage transformer left, which is good. So this has 4 packets of extreme voltage. Right now, 1 packet of extreme voltage is being used here. The second is being used here, and that leaves 2. Well, yeah, this is getting... Yeah, this is being directly powered by extreme voltage, so... And the overall effectiveness of this might be up for question, but we're going to give it a shot. So we're going to flip that around and provide it with the extreme voltage. And then this is going to take us from, depending on what's happening elsewhere in the network, potentially up to 8 high voltage packets, okay? Which would conceivably, and you know what, we can also do this. There we go. That's beautiful. Perfect. So conceivably, that's a full high voltage packet for each of these machines. And it looks like they're starting to struggle a little bit the further down we go. But that's probably because the ones further upstream, like these two, like this one is definitively, it is filling up. And once it's full, it'll just accept enough power to go into maintenance. And then this machine will fill up. It's already filling up. And then this one will fill up. We might be good. The only thing we can do now to sort of eliminate this issue, this current bottleneck, we talked about it at the time, we need to go from this IV transformer to 4 EV transformers, and that'll give us a total of 16 EV packets as opposed to the 4 that we currently have in the network. So, I don't know if that's something we need to do right now. Possibly. What goes into an EV transformer? Let's oh, hold on. We're building a machine to automate those. That's a walk in the park right there. We'll just get the automation going, and then we'll have 4 of them, and we can maybe do 3 here for now. The issue is I don't know if a high voltage cable, which is carrying extreme voltage, maybe not the best named cable, we got to figure out what we can use coming out of an IV transformer. Because we got to go to that, into 4 of these, ideally, or 3. Just basic maintenance things here, folks. Basic maintenance things. But these should be going now. Technically, it's still running, so that's good. And I don't think that any of them ever actually stopped running. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get to a point where this is full. What am I doing right now? I've already forgotten. Oh, right, we're trying to do that. Iridium plate. There we go. Plop that in there, as well as a provider module. Although, where are we going to provide those? What comes next? What is that used for? Is it used for the PEZ? It's used for the plasma core? It's not used for the plasma core. We could already be making plasma cores. That's good to know. That's probably the cable we need right there, the big plasma one. From what I'm seeing, it looks like this is the only thing that needs iridium plate, because this doesn't really need it. Iridium stone does. Alright, now we know. What is this gap? What do I do about this? I guess we just leave it open for potential fun things in the future. Are you not configured? You're not configured! There we go. And then also, you are set to do an infinite number of these? Oh, yeah, there it goes. Right before I even had the opportunity to say something's not working. There they go. Iridium plate. And so, I mean, again, infinite might not be the best option here, but we'll just let it go. Of course, that means that this will never fill up, because it's going to be dumping them into here. And that's just going to be doing that. And then this. Alright, well, you know what? We can take that off of there. There we go. Great success! Time to move on to iridium stone. First we make the stone, then we make the core. Although those two aren't really dependent on each other, and they can probably be manufactured next to each other. And then once those are done, we can make the PEZ. Once that's done, it's just a matter of creating the EV transformer automation, which we're also almost ready for. We don't have high voltage yet. We have everything we need for high voltage. So we'll automate high voltage, then we automate EV, then we automate IV, and then we'll be ready to automate the high voltage. Oh my god, we're getting so close. I can almost taste it. Oh! I found the UU matter. I guess too much got pulled in, and it had nowhere else to go. And so it dumped itself over here, and okay. I felt like we went through it all a little bit too quickly. Now, to be fair, we're going to go through this all rather quickly as well. I mean, I'm not kidding myself. That's all going to be gone almost instantly. But still, it felt like it went a bit too quick. That shouldn't happen again. We have firewalls set up specifically to prevent things from going in such a manner. This stuff is valuable enough that I don't want it to get deleted. So if we end up setting up something to make sure that it has a safe place to go to, it's going to be something with a lot of storage space so that it gets kind of maintained. But there we go. So these are topping back up. That's happening there. And we're going to go ahead and address that. Prevent that from happening by just sticking one of these down here, giving it one of these, set to default, one of these, so that those items can be added back into the network. And then, I mean, I don't know why it pulled so much UU matter when it didn't need so much UU matter, other than the fact that it is, you know, set to infinite, so that might be it. That might be the reason why, but there we go. In and out it goes. In and out it goes. Why? I don't know. So at some point during all of that, I realized that it was going to take many, many more hours and another couple of days, because I wasn't doing it all in one sitting, to actually get this place finished. So I just stopped the recording. I put on really comfy clothes, as one does, and I just got to work. And I gotta say, I finally did it. The factory's finally finished. And we're going to talk about all of that next time. Until then, thank you folks for watching. God bless you. And I'll see you later. Goodbye!